Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had a lovely lunch. Yes, this is the last lunch of the conference, very sadly. Anyway, you are most welcome here this afternoon. I'm very pleased and proud to introduce a good friend of mine, Ravinarayan Chakrakodi, who is a faculty member of the Regional Institute for English South India, based at Bangalore University in Karnataka. And Ravi has been there as faculty for 12 years now. I have been working with Ravi for at least, 3 years, and I always appreciate his comments and enthusiasm, and I know you're going to enjoy his talk on curriculum change and innovation with the new Diploma in Education. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Simon, for your nice introduction. We've been good friends for a long time, as he said. I'll begin my presentation with a cartoon. I was really inspired by Rod Bolaito's session where he began with the cartoon strips. So I thought, let me also begin with this cartoon strip. Can you all see that? Yeah? Sorry. All right. Yes, right. Yes. Let's see how we can relate these cartoons to the topic of the day. All right. So this presentation is titled as Curriculum Change and Innovation Insider's Perspective. And in this session, I'll be looking at the revised D.Ed curriculum in Karnataka. In some states, this course is called DLED, Diploma in Elementary Education, and in Karnataka we call it Diploma in Education, and the new course is titled as Karnataka Elementary Teacher Education Curriculum 2012, KE TEC 2012, not 2000, TEC 15, this is TEC 12. The revision process began in the year 2012, but the new curriculum was implemented in the year 2013. The rationale for the revision of the curriculum is, it's based on a few observations made by NCTE, National Council for Teacher Education, and NCFTE, and a research study done by the Regional Institute of Education, Mysore. So NCTE has made an interesting observation that curriculum of teacher education courses is outdated and it needs revision. And the National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education has also made some recommendations for revising the elementary education curriculum. And there is a report by RIE Mysore on they have evaluated the D.Ed curriculum of Karnataka, and some of their recommendations are, for example, one with a special focus on English. These are the recommendations made by the RIE Mysore experts. The D.Ed curriculum does not reflect the needs and abilities of D.Ed students. And the second observation was that there's a need to look at the content enrichment program from different perspectives. Now, what is this content enrichment program? Before talking about that, let's look at the scenario in Karnataka as of now. I feel the teaching of English in Karnataka is at a crossroads today. There are few professionally trained English teachers in majority of government schools. You know this, at the elementary level, almost all the teachers teach English, and they're not professionally trained to teach English as a second language. And teachers' low proficiency in using the language is a major concern and has come in the way of providing rich comprehensible input to learners at the primary level. And I feel that prospective teachers should have rigorous training to meet the most stringent criterion. This phrase is from NCF 2005. So they'll have to have rigorous training to meet the most stringent criterion in second language pedagogy. Now the previous curriculum, which was there for more than 10 years, till 2013, see, these were some of the components we had in the previous curriculum. There was a course titled as Content Enrichment Course in English for the first 2 to 3 months, and this was taught for 40 hours in a year. So imagine, just for 40 hours in a year, and the course was only for the first 2 to 3 months in the whole academic year. And the main focus of this paper or course was on learning about the language and mastering basic sentence patterns in English, or in other words, the main focus was on grammar, and that too structural, traditional type of grammar. Whereas in the second year, there was content-based methodology of teaching English. So pedagogy was offered in the second year, and it's offered as a specialization only to those students who opted for it. It was an optional paper at the second year. So students take up this paper after a gap of 9 months. Students do not engage in English learning activities after the content enrichment course. They do in the initial 2 to 3 months. So there is almost a gap of 9 months. Now the present curriculum, which was revised in 2012, it took almost a year and a half. I won't talk about the process of revision. I'm more interested in the outcome and the impact of the new curriculum on students and teacher educators. So the present curriculum, in the first year, we have a paper titled as Communication Skills in English. And the objectives of this course are to develop the ability to listen to a stretch of discourse and comprehend, interpret and evaluate, to decode, interpret and evaluate written texts, and to use appropriate accentual patterns and tonal variations and related articulatory features so as to make speaking highly intelligible, to be grammatically acceptable, and to choose and use the appropriate lexical items and language expressions besides the ability to encode different types of texts. Or the focus was mainly on developing the proficiency of student teachers, language proficiency of DED student teachers. Whereas in the second year, as it was there earlier, we have English language pedagogy and classroom processes as another paper. So first year, the objective is to develop their English language proficiency, whereas in the second year, we train them in the pedagogy of teaching English. And first year course is for about 135 hours, which means we have 10 hours per month for theory and 10 hours per month for practice. We have theory and practice embedded, and the instruction is for 135 hours in the first year, and there is continuous assessment for 50 marks. And we have 5 units in the first year course. Unit 1 is titled as Spoken Skills, Listening and Speaking, which will be taught for 15 hours of theory and 20 hours of practical sessions. And Unit 2 is on Reading and Writing, 15 hours of theory and 15 hours of practice. Unit 3 is on Communicative Grammar, 15 plus 15. Unit 4 is on Language Functions, 10 plus 10 hours. And Unit 5 is on Language Learning Resources. And Unit 5 is something new. It's about exploiting language learning resources and materials. And we also have reference skills as one of the major topics. So this is again for 10 plus 10, 20 hours. And the practicals in Unit 5 get integrated into all the other units, like reference skills, exploiting materials and resources for developing English skills. These are integrated into all the other units, Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. In the second year, The course is titled as English Language Pedagogy in Classroom Processes, 10 hours per month for theory and 10 hours per month for practice. Total again 135 hours of instruction in the second year, and continuous assessment for not for 50 marks but for 100 marks. The interesting thing is that both the courses are compulsory in both the years. See, until last year, until 2013, English was offered as an optional subject. In the first year, it was there only for 3 months. In the second year, it was an optional paper. And hardly 50% of the students used to choose English as an optional paper. They were all, scared, they were frightened to opt for English as an optional paper. So what we have done is, realizing their needs and their expectations, we made English compulsory in the first year as well as second year. And the support provided to teacher educators. We had a face-to-face training for teacher educators for about 6 days. This was done in a cascade mode. And then we have prepared a teacher educator's handbook. This is again something which is very new to the entire state. The handbook it suggests some transactional strategies, some classroom strategies and activities for transacting the curriculum. Handbook has objectives, suggested strategies and activities, assessment pattern, assessment procedure, and all that. We have also prepared a source book for students, which has everything related to developing English language proficiency. And then we also have something called class talks, which is very special again. These talks are given by experts in the field on the relevant topics included in the new curriculum. For example, we have one talk by Dr. T. Balasubramanian on phonetics and phonology. He talks about stress, intonation patterns, and the sounds of English. And we have video recorded this. See, class talks are all video recorded and provided to the teacher educators. They'll play it in the class and have discussions. They'll make students listen and then have group discussions. Some of the class talks are panel discussions as well. And then we also had a teleconference program for teacher educators to clarify some of their doubts during the course. Now, after the introduction of the new curriculum, I spoke to a few student teachers who have already finished their first year course. They have undergone this course. They are in the second year now, and they felt that the course was very well designed. I collected data from 50 students using questionnaires, and they said all the units are useful. Now, that's fine. Now, let's listen to teacher educators' views. I just have got a video clipping. Audio clipping. Can you please introduce yourself?
So I am Srimati B.N. Sujata, lecturer at Netaji TTI, Malur, Kolar district.
Okay. What do you feel about the first year syllabus on communication skills in English?
Really, even I enjoyed with the children, I can say. All these days, somewhat it was mechanical route of learning. And this one, communication, even I too remembered my childhood days and all. So I interacted with the children. Interaction was very good. The children also, they were also interested rather than reading the books and all. When I gave them activities, sometimes they never used to come. After 2 or 3 activities, they themselves only, shall we do this and that. And most of my students are from rural background. So when I told them even in Kannada, they liked that one, the meaning. Then I gave them some fruits name and I asked them to write those fruits name in English. And some of them, they were not aware of those fruits. When they came to know about that, they themselves initiated, give us some wild animals, flowers, fruits and all. We want to know at least 10 names of flowers and all in English. And they started doing all these type of activities. Somewhat this was a good experience for me also. The interaction, because every time I used to teach, this children used to listen. But this communication language, what happened is, it was a two-way approach. We both enjoyed. Even the children, they were waiting for my class. Whenever if I miss any class, if I do not go for a day, they used to say, yesterday you did not take a class, ma'am. Please come, let us have one more class. So even if the bell rings also, after they used to be interested in this only. Then I gave them paper cuttings and all. No? Advertisement, actually they did not know the caption and all for advertisement, and I told about those captions and all. They started collecting. Then whenever they used to see the advertisement, they used to write those slogans and all those.
All right, yes. That's how the teacher educator felt. And now, okay, yes. All right, now about the assessment part of the curriculum. We have formative assessment throughout the year. This is done through project work, assignments, and presentations, and this is for 20 marks. And then we also have introduced oral test for 5 marks. This is again, so far teacher educators, students have never heard about an oral test. So oral test for 5 marks, and then there is a written test for 25 marks in the first year. And all right, yes. And the written test had questions like this. For example, we had a question on transcription of words, and then there were reading passages, unfamiliar passages. There were writing tasks, and then application based questions on grammar, both form focused and meaning focused questions on grammar. And the oral test format is something like this. There are 3 parts. In the first part, students have to introduce themselves. In the second part, the examiner will ask questions on their knowledge of functional English, and there is an extended talk on a given topic. And the third part is reading aloud. The examiner will give an unseen passage. Student teacher has to read it aloud. And the examiner is not the teacher educator who has taught the students. The examiner, there is an external examiner from the DIET. DIET lecturer will conduct the oral test, maybe in the presence of the teacher educator who has taught, or in his or her absence. And the best thing is the oral test is video recorded. Can you imagine this? There are approximately 6,000 students who are doing this course, and all the oral tests were video recorded and sent to the examination board. And their performance was valued at the central place in the examination board again. This is a huge thing that is happening in the state, and it has got many other benefits. See, documentation and then, many other useful things. It has served many other different purposes. All right, now I'd like to show 1 or 2 videos.
My name is Sushma. My register number is 2014 403 410. My father name is Suresh. My mother name is Indrama. My father working in agriculturist. My mother Anganwadi worker. My hobbies is dancing, singing, watching TV. I like to Mysore because it's a historical place.
Select a blue card. Speak on the topic.
My dream is I have I'm good dancer. Good dancer because I like to dance. I watching TV in another programs or is very much Bharatanatyam. So I like to my dance.
Select a yellow card.
Okay.
Read it and answer.
You are in need of money to pay off your examination fees. How would you request your friend? I have no money. I immediately pay to examination board. Please give money. I will pay in another today or tomorrow.
All right, I'll stop.
Select a green card.
Next part is reading aloud. I'll stop yes, and then there is one more.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Sanjana.
Angela. What's your father?
My father name is Muntazu.
No, what is your father? What is he doing?
He's a farmer.
Yes, sir. Okay, what's your mother name?
And Mama.
What is she
She
doing?
was the housewife.
Which are your subjects in you have studied PUC, you have completed PUC, no?
Yes.
Which are your subjects?
6 subjects.
No, how many? Which
All
are
right.
your subjects?
I'll stop there because of the time constraint. All right, next. Yes. Now what could be, see, then we had a written test. Now what could be the examination result? Can you quickly guess? Can you tell me the percentage of the pass percentage in the state? How many students do you think have passed in the test? Both formative, everything. What could be the pass percentage in the state? Can you make a guess? Yeah? Sorry? 100%? What makes you think so? 40 to 50? Uh-huh.
But the teachers, they are at low level. They cannot come out in English.
Student teachers?
Yeah.
Okay. But there is a written test, right, for 25 marks?
Of course, when they speak out, the originality will come out, no?
Okay.
I think so.
All right, yes. Any other guesses? Okay. Now, total number of students who appeared for the exam is 6,394, and the number of students who passed is just 2,664, and the pass percentage is only 41.66. When compared to other subjects, this is really shocking. I mean, in other subjects, the pass percentage is 76, 80, 72 in EVS, science, for example, whereas in English, it's 41.66. And what could be the reasons? I think you have already mentioned a few reasons. Now, students, again, I went back to students, and then students, the reasons could be, students said the source books were supplied late, and they also said the content is too heavy for us, so either reduce the content or increase the weighting. You have such a bulk book for only 50 marks, so either reduce the content or make the examination, 100 marks, not just 50 marks. All right, now teacher educators, interestingly, they said, I have interviewed 3 teacher educators, they said student teachers lack basic language competence, and then they are not motivated to develop their English skills. And teacher educators, they said some of them are not competent in transacting the proficiency oriented syllabus. So look at this, they are not competent in transacting this kind of syllabus. And that is exactly the, I have identified this as a major problem. The course was treated as a content subject. This is where we have real problem. So it was a proficiency oriented course. In spite of the trainings and the materials, most of the teacher educators looked at the course as a content subject. They expected questions from the source book. Source book is not a textbook. Unfortunately, they used the course book as a textbook. So they gave importance to the content part of it. And then, so there is something called in the literature, some experts refer to this as the myth of the content. This is a problem we have in other board exams also. English is treated as a content subject. This is a myth, whereas here it is a proficiency paper, proficiency course, but they treat it as a content paper. So, and teacher educators also said, so maybe they are not able to teach proficiency oriented course for the one full year. You can combine, they say you can combine proficiency and pedagogy in both the years, right? And then, okay, so what do you think we should do next? We have decided to do an item analysis of all those questions. It's in the process. We want to know which questions were found most difficult by the students and all that. And then we've got feedback from different stakeholders. So in the first year, there were a few problems like this. So we are in the process of revising the source book. I'm reducing the content. And we are also giving TES India TDUs and videos. We have already supplied TES India materials, which are very well designed. I'm a part of this TES India project, and we have supplied all the teacher development units of elementary English for teacher educators, and then we have also supplied videos which have been recorded in Kannada, in English using the local textbooks. Yeah, these are some of the materials, Test India materials. And the literature also says that research studies done so far on second language teacher education focus on second language teacher professionalism, teacher preparation, teacher identity, mentoring, language teacher supervision, pedagogic content, etc., etc. There are hardly any studies on the communication skills or target language proficiency of student teachers in second language teacher education. So maybe it's time for us to do some study on the language proficiency of student teachers at the elementary, who are going to teach elementary level. That's it. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, if there is time, I'd like to.
Thank you very much, Ravi.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions? We've got a couple of minutes for maybe just one or two questions. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question? If you could come to the front.
Ravi, thank you for that interesting presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
You said that the problem was with their proficiency skills.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the content of the syllabus, somehow it seems to me that there's a heavy accent on knowledge and very little on practical skills. And these are students who are training to become teachers.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the test items, there are things like transcription of words, and there are class talks by experts
Yes.
about stress, about intonation, probably giving them very little scope for practicing these things themselves.
Yes.
So when you're actually looking at revising the syllabus,
Yes.
do you think you'd be able to get better results and there'll be better impact if the whole syllabus was more skills-based rather than knowledge-based?
No, in fact, actually it's skills-based. Only, as you said, only the first paper talks a little bit about theory of phonetics. And because it's there in the elementary level textbooks as well, teachers, students need to they need to identify the symbols. It's given in class grade 6, grade 7, grade 8. So we thought it would be good to introduce teachers to the transcription of words. But as you said, this was found difficult by student teachers. They said word level transcription we cannot do. Maybe it could be at the most at the phonemic level. And yeah, there is a bit of theory in unit 1, but unit 2, 3, 4, 5 are really practical in nature. Student teachers have to read passages and do a lot of activities related to the passage. They'll have to write letters, paragraphs, stories, dialogue writing, and the unit on functional language. That is again practical. We have given a number of dialogues in different situations. They'll have to enact those dialogues, do role plays. It is, in fact, activity-based, skills-oriented in the first year. Second year, pedagogy, where we talk about theories, how to teach these skills. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ravi.
Yes, sir.
Small question.
Yes.
Rather a clarification. I saw the way you had prioritized the topics and the time allocation, etc. Did you use any rationale for allocation? Because I found that the weight given to reading, writing
Yes.
was far less than what it required. 10 plus 10 or 15 plus 15, I don't remember.
All right.
But I thought going by priorities, I thought that was a little, I wouldn't say lopsided, but I thought it may require a little more, and certainly, yeah.
Reading and writing.
And reference skills had actually 10 plus 10 for reference. Okay, if you are looking at all language resources, fine. But there we need a lot more of practicals than the theoretical input. So this is just a stray thought that occurs to me. I just wanted to check with you if there was a rationale.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, reading and writing is for 30 hours, 15 hours of actual reading and 15 hours of, practice again, looking at the textbooks and reading textbook passages and all that. I don't know if we can allot more hours for one particular unit. I'm not very sure, but maybe, yeah, they should. I'm not very sure, so 15 hours of, 15 plus 15, 30 hours are adequate, we feel. But yeah, maybe they need to get more practice in reading, writing, and yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're out of time now, but thank you very much. And if you have any further questions, you can grab Ravi before we all leave. So I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.